Dancing with the Stars has seen its fair share of dramatic moments over the years, emotional breakdowns, controversial eliminations, surprising saves, and unexpected contestant rivalries. But this week's explosive episode delivered something we haven't seen in a while. The judges turning on each other in a fiery on-air disagreement that left viewers gasping, the live audience roaring, and the contestants backstage wondering what on earth was happening. At the center of the drama, a polarizing routine from a fan-favorite reality star that set off a chain reaction the show will be talking about for weeks. The performance that sparked the firestorm. The night's theme was Icons Night, with each couple dancing to songs made famous by legendary artists. The reality star, who has built a reputation for bold choices, fearless performances, and more than a little controversy, took the stage with their pro partner for what was teased as their most daring routine yet. From the opening beat, the number was intense. Think sharp movements, big lifts, edgy choreography, and an emotional storyline that walked the razor-thin line between genius and chaos. The ballroom lit up with cheers. Some audience members even rose to their feet mid-performance, unable to stay seated. But as the final pose hit, the camera quickly cut to the judges' table, and the tension was already brewing. Carrie Ann Inaba, known for her emphasis on technique, connection, and lift rules which have become something of a running joke at this point, was scribbling furiously on her scorecard. Derek Huff whispered something under his breath. Bruno Tonioli dramatically clutched his chest like someone had just proposed marriage. And the new fourth judge, who has brought a fresh, often blunt perspective to the table, was staring with an expression that read, "What did I just watch?" The atmosphere was electric. No one knew it yet, but the biggest explosion was seconds away. Carrie Ann's controversial critique. When it came time for feedback, the tension snapped. Carrie Ann was first to speak, and she wasted no time unleashing her thoughts. "I appreciate the passion, but there were major issues tonight," she began firmly. "Your frame collapsed during the second sequence, the transitions were messy, and that lift, yes, that one, was absolutely a rules violation. I'm sorry, but I can't ignore what I saw." The ballroom went silent except for some scattered boos. The contestants' face fell. Their partner looked like they were physically biting their tongue. But Carrie Ann wasn't done. "I need authenticity. What I saw tonight felt more like a performance for the cameras than for the dance." The audience gasped. Even Bruno stopped fanning himself. And that's when the fireworks began. Derek Hero fires back. "Carrie Ann, you are out of your mind." Next up was Derek, but instead of critiquing the couple, he immediately went after Carrie Ann's comments. "Carrie Ann, you are out of your mind," he exclaimed, half laughing, half serious, but clearly frustrated. "I don't know what you were watching, but that performance was electric. That was raw, powerful, and incredibly well executed." The audience erupted in cheers. Derek continued, "Yes, it was edgy. Yes, it pushed boundaries. That's what this show is about. We want growth, we want risk, we want entertainment. You can nitpick technique all day, but you cannot deny the artistry that just happened out here." Carrie Ann looked stunned and defensive. "It's not nitpicking," she shot back. "This is a ballroom competition." Derek countered, "And art evolves. Performance matters. Emotion matters." The table devolved into a back-and-forth exchange so intense that the hosts had to jump in just to keep the show moving. Bruno turns up the drama, as always. If anyone was going to add gasoline to the fire, it was Bruno Tonioli. He stood up, gesticulating wildly with his arms like an Italian opera conductor. "Darlings, darlings," he shouted over the chaos. "Let us not destroy each other. We must celebrate the beauty we just saw." But then, dramatically pointing toward Carrie Ann. "Though, Carrie Ann, you were a little harsh. Very harsh." Audience screams. Derek smirks. Carrie Ann's jaw tightens. Bruno finished with a flourish. "It was a volcano, eruptive, emotional, and unforgettable. I adored it." The new fourth judge weighs in, and only makes it worse. When the newest judge of the season finally spoke, everyone braced themselves. They began carefully, saying, "Look, I see both sides." Which is always the sign that things are about to go off the rails. Then came the bold take. "Technically, yes, there were issues. But Carrie Ann, you can't deny the contestants' commitment. And Derek, you can't pretend the mistakes didn't happen. Personally, I think the routine was messy, but also magnificent." Cue yet another explosion at the judge's desk. Everyone started talking over each other. Hands waving, voices rising, the contestant and partner awkwardly shifting from foot to foot, unsure whether to smile or run. It was chaos, but iconic chaos. Backstage reaction. The judges stole the show tonight. Sources backstage reported a mix of shock and amusement. One pro dancer whispered, "I've never seen Derek go off on Carrie Ann like that." Never. Another added, "Honestly, the judges stole the show. That routine was wild, but their fight, next level." Even some eliminated celebrities posted on social media within minutes. Watching this judge's meltdown like ice fire. DWTS hasn't been this spicy in years. Fans online were equally divided, with hashtags like #Team Carrie Ann, #Derek was right, #Justice for the routine, #DWTS meltdown, trending simultaneously. The scores that added fuel to the flames. When the judges finally calmed down enough to score, the numbers only intensified the chaos. Carrie Ann, 6. The audience booed loudly. Derek, 9. Bruno, 9. Fourth judge, 8. A split that dramatic is practically unheard of on DWTS. The contestant mouthed, "Wow," as they walked off stage. The pro partner whispered something to them, something that seemed like, "Just breathe," while still visibly flustered. What this means for the rest of the season. This episode didn't just deliver drama, it reset the entire energy of the competition. The reality star, who was previously seen as inconsistent but entertaining, is suddenly a polarizing figure, a talking point, a possible underdog favorite, a contestant who could ride the judges' drama to fan vote success. Because if one thing is true about DWTS audiences, it's this. They love a fighter, and they hate unfairness. The dynamic between Carrie Ann and Derek has also changed. Fans are already predicting more clashes, more disagreements, and maybe even another explosive moment before finale night. Bruno, of course, will continue being Bruno, over the top, theatrical, and loving every second. The final word. The most infamous judges' meltdown in years. In a season that promised excitement, this episode delivered far beyond expectations. The contestant danced with everything they had. Carrie Ann stood her ground. Derek fought back with passion. Bruno dramatized the chaos. The fourth judge poured oil on the flames. And the audience? They lived for every second. Whether you believe the routine was brilliant or messy, one thing is undeniable.